I'm a printer, and I thought so, until my brothers in the industry called me a maverick. On 16 January 2025, my association, the Bombay Master Printers Association, invited me to the annual print summit and wanted me to present my story to the audience so that I could inspire them. BMP considers me a maverick not because I'm an award-winning printer, but because as a maverick, I do things differently and continue to do so. This is how my story was presented by ITK from BMPA, who's also a friend at the Print Summit 2025. The film is a tribute to all those who have supported me in my journey. I hope the life's lesson you learn from this film helps you pursue your dreams to live a fulfilling life. So here it goes. For 14 consecutive years, JAK Printers has bagged the Best National Printer Award for Quality. We are the recipient of 33 international and 400 national awards in quality printing. Each and every award-winning job has a story of its own. We are proud of this achievement, which has created a quality-conscious company. JAK Printers Private Limited. From a legal perspective, we are a private limited company. But at the heart of it all, we are a partnership firm. A partnership with our employees, suppliers, investors, and customers. I have an amazing friendship with my childhood friend and business partner, Aspi. Story says that we met in pre-primary school where we fought one day, and after fighting the next day we were best friends till today, 58 years. I'm 61 now. He's got weaknesses, I've got weaknesses. He's got plus points, I've got plus points. We only need to see the plus points. I need to complement his weakness. He needs to complement my weakness. You have to have a mindset to share and grow together. Similarly, marriage is a partnership where you build on each other's strengths, understand each other's weaknesses, and share a life together. I am extremely fortunate to have a strong partnership with my wife Meru. With this combination, one could have never gone wrong. Success was supposed to happen in my life, and it did happen, and I owe it to them. Without that, this life that I'm living would have just not been possible. There's never been a week ever in my life that I've forgotten this incident that happened when I was just nothing. Probably the mustache was just growing around, and we started our printing company in '84. And in those days, if you didn't have a briefcase, you were not a businessman. To be a businessman, we bought a briefcase of 400 rupees. I remember very well, we went to Dabbu Street in Bombay, if any Bombayites are here. And we bought the briefcase, and we took a letter asking for the bank to start a bank account, and open the briefcase, put the letter inside. And while shutting, I told my mom, I said, the briefcase is empty, I'm going to the bank. What am I carrying this and what am I doing? And that's the moment she said something that I'd say it in first Gujarati, ke aaje khali le jai, kale paisa ri bharalo le aavse. The meaning is, today you're taking it empty, but tomorrow you'll bring it back with money, full with money. This is something that's changed my life. This blessing that my mommy said, every week I remember that's coming true and true and true. Many times we see how life has come full circle. When I was young, my father had gifted me a Yamaha CB250 in 1983 for about 20,000 rupees. However, in a little while, I had to start the press, and I was desperately in need of cash. So here's what I did. I sold the bike for 27,000 rupees, took a loan from my granny of 30,000 rupees, from my aunt 40,000 rupees, and we sold my mother's jewelry for 27,000 rupees. I then took an additional loan of 1 lakh rupees from Adyadu Industrial Trust at an interest rate of 24% at that time. And we purchased the Ghana in Baikala of 375 square feet. The selling of the bike at that young age was a big sacrifice, because at that time I would have liked to show off and impress all the girls. But the sacrifice has paid off, because today I can enjoy this stunning BMW. So the point is that we have to sacrifice something in the moment for something greater in the future. We need to learn how to take a step back, make an assessment, and then take a bold decision that will pay off in the long run. My first ever print job was a visiting card of rupees 120 on a letterpress machine. And for that 120 rupees, I went to get the job on a scooter. I went back to show the proof. I then returned to deliver the job. A little later, I went to give the bill and probably returned to collect the payment at the end. a total of 5 times for a job of 120 rupees. I may have spent 50% of the money earned in petrol. I remember coming home and telling my parents that I don't know what I am doing, but yet at the same time, I had no option. I had to do it. I enjoy riding, running away, and winning too. Let me tell you a funny story on this running away. In 1985, during the days of letterpress, I visited a customer who said that he had a requirement of 3 posters for a quantity of 5,000, but he couldn't give it to me as I didn't have an offset machine. I immediately objected. I told him, I'm your printer, you need to give the project to me. He replied that you don't have an offset machine. How can I give it to you? I objected again and said, give me the artworks. He refused, saying that the other printer is already on the way to collect the artworks. So what do you think I did? I picked up the artworks and ran away. This running away habit paid off at that time. My next step, I go to a friend who was a guru of mine. I explained to him the situation. He said, no issue. I will call someone who will help you. Guess whom he calls? The same printer who was supposed to get the project from the client. The printer was confused. He said, I've just sent my representative to collect the artworks and you are saying that you have the artworks with you. This doesn't make sense. I was a young printer and the friend asked me to leave the artworks with him. We successfully completed this job and shared the profit between the 3 of us. Yalla, yalla. The entire episode built a spirit of determination and endurance in me. Today I have grown in these values, not just in business, but also on the endurance track with my horse riding career. To ensure we keep winning consistently, we needed to understand the endurance sport thoroughly. So a few of our riders enrolled for the International Endurance exam as a judge. Well, we successfully cleared these exams and today I'm a national judge and have qualified to be an international judge. Hence, as you can see, that has been our level of dedication to the sport, and winning the awards on the endurance track has been very satisfying. We had a 375 square feet ownership gala, but an offset machine would not fit in it. So I took a bold decision. I sold off the gala and moved into a rented, larger gala, used the money from the sale and along with the additional loan, bought an offset machine, and that decision paid off greatly. So taking a step back for a moment and making a bold decision can enable you to launch yourself forward. My father worked as a chartered accountant and he knew nothing about printing, but he had one desire: my children will do business. He constantly encouraged us to become entrepreneurs. So I got into business. It was a letterpress company and we were struggling to install an offset machine. I had decided to take a small loan and purchase a Solna offset machine. It was a cheaper machine and it had its own limitations. However, at the same time, there was on sale a second-hand Heidelberg machine, which was priced significantly higher. In my mind, it was clear that I need to purchase this Solna machine. I knew that a Solna machine would print 1000 sheets less per hour compared to a Heidelberg machine. However, I still felt I would use my expertise and get the best out of the machine. So I walked up to my dad confidently. But when my dad heard my decision, he sat me down immediately. He said that he believed that I had the skill to get the same quality from the Solna machine. But by investing a little more, I'd be able to print 1000 copies more per hour. This would have a compounding impact per day, per month, per year. I listened to my dad, and this manner of thinking was a paradigm shift in my life. My dad helped me get an additional loan. We purchased the single color Heidelberg machine. From that point on, there was no looking back. This manner of thinking has not only helped me throughout the journey of my printing industry, but also in all other decisions in my life. And I'm indebted to my father for these words of wisdom. This Taj Hotel has played a significant role in our life. The first job ever I got after 2 years struggle was an alabaster letterhead with beautiful crayon printing on it. And we did it with 200 screen ruling. We gave the proof. The proof was out of this world. But when we finally delivered the job, the customer called me and said, it's rejected. Just come here and take your shit back. I was shocked. I didn't know what to do. I ran there. And the first time ever I heard this word, he said, you're out of grid. Honestly, I had never heard of this term grid before in my life. What actually happened was that at the proof stage, the caption was in the grid, but while printing, it moved out of the grid. As I stood in front of the customer, I just froze for a moment in shock and then said, I'll reprint. I strongly believe that when I made the decision to reprint the letterheads, that day, JAK Printers was born. It was fear that made me make such a decision, but I owe it to the Taj hotels because since then, we have never looked back.
But Khushru, if you remember, we had a delivery to make to Kolaba. Yeah. And I tied it on the scooter and I took it and the whole packet fell off on Marine Drive, which I had to park the scooter in the side and pick up one packet at a time. And then when we met in the night with our friends, yes, they commented, today some bichara was picking up packets from the road. Okay. We both looked at each other and we smiled at each other. And then that is right. We were not so perfect, but that is a successful story.
Now, fast forward years later, when we at JAK Printers successfully engineered the Taj chocolate boxes for Taj hotels. It gave us great joy. However, a year later, I found out that another 5-star hotel copied our ideas and created a similar box. I was furious. I immediately informed the person in charge at Taj. His name was Mr. Patu Keshwani. I thought he would be annoyed that somebody had copied our designs. Rather, when I informed him, he started laughing and dancing. Was this guy crazy? I thought. Then he said the very fact that somebody has copied me proves that I am a leader. This kind of perspective that enabled Mr. Patu Keshwani to become the chairman and managing director of Lemon Tree Hotels. I was fortunate to work with people like him that transformed my manner of thinking. Business has its ups and downs. As I reflect, sometimes when things are going well, that's when you can make some painful errors. There was a period in time when we were extremely confident and got a little overconfident of what we had accomplished. We had Taj and Cadbury under our belt. I felt nothing can go wrong. And then suddenly we took back-to-back poor decisions. We bought 2 wrong machines, a perfecting 2-color machine, and everybody knows perfecting machines are a nightmare world around. And then we bought a 4-color machine, which was a bad buy. For the next 4 years, we just struggled. We had to get rid of these machines and purchase new ones. Such incidents can happen in successful business too. So the learning here is that if you're unable to embrace the challenges and the ups and downs of life, you cannot be sitting where we are sitting here today. This is a quote that I have written from several years of painful experience. Believe me, it has not only changed my life, but has also changed the lives of my colleagues. We are now in this vintage 1937 Mercedes. In India, you have only 3 such cars, and I get to enjoy this drive with my beautiful wife. Someone asked me, what does it take to be in a position to enjoy such collectibles? Well, firstly, our possessions don't define who we are. 10 years ago, a friend of mine told me, you should buy a Mercedes, that's your class. But that's a wrong way of thinking. The Mercedes doesn't give you class. You have reached the level of class and then you purchase a Mercedes. What has enabled me to come to this point in life has been the values of honesty, hard work, and an attitude of not giving up, and the blessings of Almighty. The understanding and practice of these values has allowed me to enjoy this ride in this vintage 1937 Mercedes today. A client once asked me, what does JAK Printers stand for? JAK. Jasmine, my sister. Aspi, my business partner. And myself, Khushru. If you had met me prior to 1995, you would have not recognized me today. What changed my perspective to business was traveling abroad. As I travel internationally, I ask myself, what am I doing in an industrial estate in Mumbai trying to run a printing press? As I moved around in London, visited printing presses, attended exhibitions like Drupa, I realized paper had to be moved on pallets and not on heads. That's the future. So I returned to India, which had just opened up its economy with Dr. Manmohan Singh. In 1997, I invested 2.3 crores in a property in Navi Mumbai. However, it was a wrong decision as I had invested too early in time. I then sold the property for 1.5 crores, swallowed a massive loss, and turned my eyes to Baikala in the heart of Mumbai. The purchase of the bicolor property had its own challenges. Not only did I have to invest more money, but this property had 16 landlords, the youngest being 65 years old, and they were all Parsis. If anyone has worked with Parsis like me, you know how fanatic we can be. It took us 2 years to purchase this land. Today, JAK Printers is proud to operate on a fully owned 1 acre piece parcel land in the heart of Mumbai. The journey to getting this property was a challenging one. But remember, it's okay to take a step back as long as you have a clear vision on what you desire to achieve. To be honest, we were never interested in participating in awards. However, one day we received an inquiry for a beautiful calendar. But the client threatened us saying, "You don't submit projects for awards, so I don't want to give you this assignment." Well, to secure this project, we promised to submit this assignment for the 51st World Calendar Show in Germany. And guess what? We won a silver award. This award encouraged us to excel in quality and fitness of our products. From that day onwards, we focused on winning awards, as these awards became our benchmark for quality and endorsed the faith in ourselves. For 14 consecutive years, JAK Printers has bagged the Best National Printer Award for quality. We are the recipient of 33 international and 400 national awards in quality printing. Each and every award-winning job has a story of its own. We are proud of this achievement, which has created a quality-conscious company. After having many setbacks, getting butchered in the market, and yet making comebacks, we took a game-changing decision to purchase a 6-color machine in 2004. We couldn't afford this machine, but we hounded this machine for 7 months, as it was a state-of-art machine with autoplate, preset, auto wash, etc. It was very advanced for India at that time. One day, they dropped the price. We moved quickly. We paid double the money that we would have to pay for a regular machine and purchased it. However, the industry didn't applaud me. Rather, they laughed at me. I remember my industry friends coming to the press to see the machine, and as they left, they were laughing. This Bawa has overinvested and he's going to shut down in the next 2 years. But I had a clear game plan of efficiency. What a regular machine would need 4 days to print, I knew with this Heidelberg machine, I would be able to print it in 2 days, bind it, and deliver it to the client on the 3rd or the 4th day. This way, I would be able to displace competition for the next 4 to 5 years. This purchase decision of the 6-color machine changed the future of JAK Printers for the next 20 years. Recently, I received a new title, not from the president of the country, but from people near and dear to me. The title is Mr. Fixit. Mr. Fixit evolved because of trying to resolve issues in Pasi Dairy Farm, a family-run business which my wife is a part of. If you are a Bombayite, you know that Pasi Dairy Farm is a 100-year-old dairy.
Welcome to Pasi Dairy Farm!
However, in 2006, they were in deep waters with an amounting debt of over 8 crores. Workers, union strike, family disputes, and many more. Everything was going wrong with their business. So my kids forced me, go and help mummy's family. I agreed. I went for a lunch with a family just to oblige my children. But then I deep dived into the business and began fixing one issue after the other. Today we have brought Pasi Dairy Farm to a level where it's a profit-making company. The journey of Mr. Fixit began with fixing my wife's family business that was headed for bankruptcy. But it didn't stop there. I've invented a couple of machines in the dairy industry to fix the problem and improve hygiene and efficiency. This is one of them. I have even helped other families fix their disputes. That's what I love doing, and I do it with passion.
So there is one thing that I really like about Khushru, and there is one thing that really annoys me also. So the one thing that annoys me about him is when he sulks like a kid, when I don't give him enough attention. But the one thing that I really love about him is his selfless nature. He will always put others' needs before his.
For us to achieve our life goals, physical fitness and mental well-being is vital. We live within our body. Health is our vehicle for life. If we ignore our health, we will never be able to achieve what we desire to accomplish. Let's not take fitness for granted. We need to eat wisely, hydrate ourselves, and stay active physically and mentally. In the early years, I thought I could do all by myself. But then, as I began to get involved in the running of Pasi Dairy Farm, I now had two organizations to manage. The only way forward was to develop my team building skills. So, here's what I did. I personally took soft skill training. We need trainers as they can make a huge difference in our efficiencies. Today, I can follow my passion and hobbies because I have successfully built a team. The last 40 years for me can be divided in three parts. The first 20 years, I dedicated to learning. The next 10 years, I dedicated to educating my team. And the last 10 years, I'm only motivating my team. This way, the success that is experienced is shared by all. It is the team that wins. Horses are not my passion, they are my kids. Let me explain. I have many children, two of my own, and many others I have mentored and raised from childhood. Once they grew up and moved on, I was falling short of loving someone. So that's how the love for the horses was born again. Earlier, I was extremely overweight at 92 kilos. And as I began riding, I realized that it's a partnership. I lost 20 kilos and became 72, 73 to make sure she's comfortable and we have a winning team. And now they are my kids. I love them a lot. Education is key to life. First, I educated myself, then my team, and now my pets. This way, we can empower ourselves to have a better life. This is my darling Flash, who is my partner. And look, she enjoys giving me a handshake every time I meet her. These are also my pets. They come and meet me every time I come. They actually interact. People don't believe that, but they do interact with humans.
Come. Why also shy today? How are you?
I began working at the age of 20 and I had decided that I would work vigorously until the age of 50. Once I reached this landmark, it was time for me to hand over the reins to the next generation. Now my plan was to start traveling for at least a month and have the team manage the day-to-day operations for the organization. This had a twofold impact. One was that I began to enjoy longer holidays, and the other was that my absence empowered the team to make decisions, claim responsibilities, and move forward. Over the last 10 years, this approach has successfully enabled me to hand over to the next generation, and this has freed me to pursue new endeavors. I'd like to share a story about excelling on the skating rink. This story features my daughter Xenia, who was here last year as one of the delegates on the ladies panel. Xenia represented India twice in the World Championship, and the roadmap we took to achieve this success. Firstly, I personally took interest in studying the sport, trained myself as a coach, and became a judge for skating. Secondly, Xenia and I anticipated challenges. So when we encountered roadblocks, it didn't surprise us. Instead, we learned how to maneuver around them. So in life, don't be shocked when you encounter roadblocks. Rather, be determined to maneuver around them. What you see here is 8 acres of farmland that I purchased in Lonavala 12 years ago. I remember when I first visited this property, it was a barren piece of land. So here's what I did. I dug a lake in the middle of the property and surrounded it with earth. If people passing by looked at our property, they would have wondered, what on earth is this Baba doing? But there's a method to my madness. Today, this property has become an iconic piece of land in Lonavala and has served as an inspiration for others. The profits from printing of these books have enabled me to enjoy these privileges. Challenges and hardships are going to come your way. That's a guarantee. But the mindset you adopt in approaching these challenges is your choice. What I have learned is, firstly, embrace the challenge. Secondly, develop an expertise by gaining in-depth knowledge about the topic. And thirdly, Be determined to conquer your mountain. Don't allow a rejection to halt your progress. Persist, pursue, and prosper. These three aspects are key to building a success mindset. Handling money is an art. What we do with what we have impacts the lifestyle that we can enjoy. If you don't excel in money matters, you not only mess up your life, but also those around you. So be wise in managing your money. This message is especially for the youngsters. As you grow old, new doors begin to open in your life. At around 50 years, I knew it was time to start giving back, and wonderful doors opened for me to do the same. I began to help businesses rejuvenate, help families to get the deserved settlements. I began a horse riding school where I charged one-fifth the price compared to others. I'm proud to share that one of my students from the horse riding school stood fourth in the nationals among 94 entries. We are now on our way to the Tata Blind School called TASEF, which is near Vapi. This blind school has a rich history as it was inaugurated by the then Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru in 1961. A year ago, the late Mr. Ratan Tata approached us with the opportunity to serve and support this blind school. Since the past year, we have been running this blind school. Whenever I see the blind students, they teach me life's lessons of gratefulness, kindness, and adaptability. The warmth and the love received from these students is so satisfying. I feel so fulfilled when I run this blind school.
These are some of the things I like about Dude. 1. He is very good in treating animals. He takes me for early morning rides. I love that. And 3. He also takes me for jeep rides. He never says no. And no matter like how much he dislikes what I watch, he always sits through it with me. I love Dude.
I once told a friend that the first time you see your grandchild smile at you, you will experience a sense of fulfillment like no other. And later this friend called me and said that he experienced the same with his grandchild. I believe that a grandchild's first friend is their grandparents, and the grandparents' last friend is their grandchildren. They bring a sense of closure to one's life, which is enriching, satisfying, and fulfilling. I love my grandkids. They mean the world to me. What really drives me today is to be an achiever and to be content. You need to decide the lifestyle that you want to achieve. Once you've achieved it, be content with what you have. My friends, you can live your dreams. All that you see around me, credit goes to my printing industry and the people who supported me to achieve my dream. Thank you.
My first story is of this gentleman, Mr. Khushru Patel of JAK Printers. Please give him a hand. So let me tell you something about him. Of course, a lot of people know him. And the reason you know him is also very obvious. He is a winner of 33 international and 400 national awards. But apart from them, I know the story from the back, from the time that they started the business. Two friends who were actually closer than brothers. They started a press in a 375 square feet gala. And whoever has visited their press today will realize that his is a truly boutique press, right in the heart of the city, a 1 acre press, beautiful. When you enter the press, you wonder whether you've come to a resort, a holiday home, or is it a printing press? The only press which, as of now, I know has got 33 international and 400 national awards, and the quality that they produce, irrespective of what you believe is quality, is always exceptional. So you can reach this level of quality, कि मुझे ऐसा चाहिए, but then he will say that, no, this can be done better. And this is something that I have seen consistently because I've worked with him for so many years. Amazing. Now, I'm just going to talk about his business policies. Zero tolerance for quality, for lack of quality, or rather an obsessive passion for quality. The most beautiful thing about JAK and Aspi and his family first, everything else later. The third thing I've noticed is that they give you so many options. When you ask for one, is that you will just simply surrender. You just can't say no to them. You want some idea, he'll give you 2, 3, 4. You'll ultimately say, अच्छा ठीक है भाई इसमें से एक मेरे को दे दे. And that also he'll tell you, कि नहीं you have selected इससे ये better हो सकता है. That's a maverick. This is, well, not really business policy, but the belief that Parsi vocabulary trumps all national and international languages. Politeness gayi gadedani. And JAK is the only press which can actually advise you what you should be doing. Now, you could be an Amitabh Bachchan, you could be a Dhirubhai Ambani, or you could be a Thackeray Scion. Now, why I define him as a maverick? Who else but a maverick will buy an 8-acre property in the heart of the costliest mountain in Maharashtra, which is Lonavala, 8-acre place, then decides that he wants a lakefront house, makes a 4-acre khadda into his farm, fills it with water so that he has his own private lake. Maverick. When he feels that he cannot contribute more to his business, decides that he needs to make friends with horses, masters them, wins endurance races. I don't know how many of you will understand what endurance is, but maybe it's something that is amazing. Becomes a coach. And once he decides that abhi printing industry mein innovation ho gaya, decides to go over, helps his wife's business grow bigger, and innovates machinery which makes pedas. A maverick is only a maverick will buy a vintage car, 1937 Khushru, am I right? And drives it around with passion. And the best quality, and which actually defines him as a maverick. You go to him with your problem. Your problem becomes his problem. And then he'll decide that he wants to pull you out from that problem. So just like his horses has a ghode ka chashma and focuses on one thing at a time, irrespective of any other issue that happens. So I'm going to show you a video which will define why I have considered him a maverick. I've spent time with him. I've enjoyed studying him and bringing you the story of Khushru Patel. But before the video comes in, I have a few words for him which I think are suitable to Khushru. उन्हें कामयाबी में सुकून नजर आया तो वो दौड़ते गए. हमें सुकून में कामयाबी दिखाई दी तो हम ठहर गए. उन्हें कामयाबी में सुकून नजर आया तो वो दौड़ते गए. हमें सुकून में कामयाबी दिखाई दी तो हम ठहर गए. ख्वाहिशों के बोझ में तू बशर क्या क्या कर रहा है, इतना तो जीना भी नहीं जितना तू मर रहा है. Khushru, the question that I want to ask you is, whenever I have visited you, whenever I have come and met you, I see an incredible energy every time. So in the last 30 years, I've never seen you lacking energy for anything. So if it was my job that we were doing, or if we were talking about horses when you asked me to compare your endurance races, you actually cleaned up about 30, 40 acres of muddy, dusty soil, enthusiasm to train people for your horse riding, enthusiasm to help families solve their problems, enthusiasm to run Parsi dairy to a particular level. What brings that crazy enthusiasm?
First of all, hello everybody, and very good words from Iqbal. I don't think whether we two deserve these same good words, but I'll answer your question. So I'll just give an example in the beginning. When we leave college or school, we believe that learning is over. Actually, learning starts after that day. And the inspiration that I have is only to learn and learn and learn and learn. You get me a new problem, you get me a new business, I want to learn it and I want to solve it. I think that's the only thing that comes to me. I love that. I love waking up and learning more. And please don't stop learning. Don't think I know it all. You will learn every single day, every single minute. Please keep your mind open. That can only make the difference in your life. I think that's the only thing that motivates me. Trust me, people around me hate that to keep
No,
up
I
with
don't
me.
think anybody does.
But that's the only thing that motivates me.
Thank you so much, Khushru.
I don't have a specific question, but again, I just wanted to really thank you guys for doing this for our future. And I really hope that everyone here has taken something from here, because I truly have, and I have been motivated to give more back, because we don't live in a society that teaches this very often, but in these special moments, I value it. So thank you.
But I'd like to add to that. Everybody sitting here is associated with the printing industry, and please note, whatever this gentleman has succeeded, I am succeeding, has come from the printing industry. Our industry is great. Do not leave it. We have fantastic lives. Do not say printing is rubbish, printing is bad. Somebody may have messed it up. You don't mess it up. Printing is great and printing will live. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And with those, to Mr. Khushru Patel. Big round of applause, please.
Five he wants to. Sir. Come, sir.